All right, so now let's move on. And as I mentioned, Cody Rhodes had a big announcement, very personal message. It was announced on AEW Dynamite that he and Brandi Rhodes are expecting their first child. They did this in a very cute way, unwrapping a gift, said that Pharaoh is going to be on security duty, which I thought was cute. I thought the messaging of this was very on brand for the Rhodes family, and it wasn't too overdone. Cody does get a little bit of the, man, your theatrics for just random Dynamite matches a tad much, and I get that criticism, but he is also the face of the company, whether we like that or not. He really is. And I think it's important to say, hey, coming up soon, we're going to be making some changes to my character and hers, so here's why. So I thought it was very appropriate that they announced it during Dynamite.
And we may disappear for a few, you know what I mean, for a little bit, right.
Instantly after this announcement.
Which is interesting. I mean, that's going to do that. Like, he will be probably gone from TV for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, as he should
be. Which will be good. Which will be a good, it'll be a good moment in the time of the company, too. Like, he'll have been a couple years deep into being this face of the company, carrying literally the network's name on his fucking shoulder and around his, in front of his dick. It's a dick cover, right?
Here's
the title belts, right? Can we be honest about that, right?
Yeah,
right.
That's where they're. So here's my thoughts about the announcement, though. Twofold. One, I want to know, just out of curiosity, when they found out, because if you go back a week, you had Brandi Rhodes throw water in Shaq's face, alluding to a match with her and Jade Cargill that Shaq was going to show up to. Now, I would assume, because she is pregnant, those plans go out the window, right? So now what does Shaq do if he's going to do anything with AEW? What does Jade Cargill do now that she can't beat up on Brandi Rhodes? And then what does Brandi Rhodes do when obviously she should not be getting physical, but where does that story go? Does someone replace her? A Red Velvet maybe comes into the picture and says, I'll fight on your behalf? That's going to be interesting for me.
This has got to go the way of, Shaq's got to wrestle now, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So if it was intended for Shaq does a run-in or separates the girls during the match because it goes, outside, spills to the outside, and he separates the girls to get them back in. Yeah, something like that.
Maybe a wardrobe malfunction happens and it goes viral. On
something like that. But now, because Brandi Rhodes is going to be stopping all, physical activity in the ring, do we call an audible and say, hey, Shaq, for another, $75,000, will you wrestle Cody?
Yeah.
Shaq,
you can come work out with us. We'll get you in game shape. We'll make it real easy.
Or do we just say, hey, in a year and a half's time, if we're still doing business together, let's revisit this then?
Well, because it would be perfect. She's finally back. Shaq shows up. They're all like, oh, congrats on the baby. Blah, blah. And he makes another little snide joke. And then they're like, hey, God damn it, dude. This is enough now, right? You did this 3 times, right? What the fuck?
And if any company would do long-term storybooking or storytelling like this, it would be AEW. They
Shaq
do really
seems
good.
To be game.
Yeah, and they do really good.
Now.
And they do really good foreshadowing to the end of the show of, hey, remember that, Ray Phoenix didn't lose in the tournament? Well, he deserves a title shot, things like that. So I could see that, but I'm curious, just natural curiosity of when they found out, because why would you shoot that last week and say Brandi's going to throw water in Shaq's face if she was pregnant? So that was just my own curiosity. They had to have found out
this week. They probably had to have found out this week. And I'm kind of wondering if they might not have been trying then. Because
so a lot of interesting questions that are none of our business, but it is just curiosity.
No, I'm
as
gonna
a
call
viewer.
him up right now. Live on the show. We're gonna call Cody. You want me to call him?
Hey, see if they'll do Cinco Preguntas.